Hi, it's Alan from scootersales.com.au. We've been running our regular feature on scooter dealers right across Australia. Today, I thought we'd catch up with Murray from Scooter Central and ask him those same questions we've been asking everyone else. So, how are you, Muzz?
I'm going particularly well today, Al.
Okay, that's good. Look, the first question I've just got to ask is, what got you into the world of selling scooters?
Yeah, well, it's probably an interesting story for us because my wife Sue and I, we'd been in business in the motor industry for quite a long time. We'd sort of see a lot of changes during that time too, and we noticed people leaning towards the scoot thing more and more. About 5 years ago, we sold our previous business, which was in the motor industry, and we thought, well, what's next for us? What's the next logical step? Always enjoyed our two wheels, loved them all our lives, and it just seemed like an easy move. So we actually went to the step of actually going to the States, finding out what was happening over there, having a look in Europe, and then coming back to Australia. And we were lucky enough to chance on Scooter Central at the same time, and it was a great step for us. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's good. So how has your business progressed over the years?
Yeah,
from when you first started?
Well, the market's moved quite a lot. It's been such an active market, such a go-ahead sort of vital sort of industry that things have changed enormously. We've basically gone from a staff of maybe 4 or 5ers right through to we've got 15, including casuals and full-timers now. So that we've sort of grown with the market, and look, to be completely honest, we've thoroughly enjoyed being in the industry. It's a bit of fun. It's funny when people come to buy a scooter, they're buying it usually for 2 reasons. One, because it's cheap transport, or it's faster to get to work, but the second reason always is it's fun.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in all the brands that I see around, is it important to actually stock the right brands?
It is. It's really important for each individual store to find their area of expertise and really try to stick to it as best they can. For us, we fundamentally have all the main players. We're lucky we're one of the biggest stores, so we have the bulk of the main players, and it gives us a lot of confidence. We've dealt with them for a long time. Your Vespers and your Piagos and your Aprilias and Kimcos of the world. And we've dealt with them for a long time. We have a terrific relationship with all the importers, and it also gives our staff confidence too, because they're very knowledgeable about the products they sell. We've been selling them for a long time. We know them thoroughly, and we've seen the life cycle of those scooters from the day they're bought right through to, we have high mileage riders who do 25,000 k's a year. We see how the bike performs through that time.
Yeah, so good experience. So tell me, across a number of brands, and you do stock a number of brands, and I'm a first-time scooter buyer, what are the sorts of things that I'm going to be looking for? What's a good piece of advice you can give me first up?
Yeah, look, if you're brand new to scoots, and this is the interesting thing about scooters, most of the consumers have bought a car in the past, and to buy a second, third or fourth car, you've kind of done a lot of due diligence originally. For 50% of the scooter market, they're brand new to 2 wheels, so it's a very different experience. I find that the best way to tackle it if you're a brand new rider is do your due diligence online. We're lucky with scootersales.com.au and scooter magazines, those sort of mediums, that you can actually get quite a lot of information before you even enter a store. However, the trick is basically once you've done that, get into a store, sit on a few scoots. You'll find, like our salesmen, for example, are very, very good at asking the right and most appropriate questions for a new rider. Some of those questions will be, okay, where do you intend to ride from and to, typically? Now, for most people, it may be home to work, or home to the beach, or home to the shops. Now, that answers quite a big question for a new rider, because if you're going to say that you've got a 25-kilometre commute through peak hour traffic, we'll definitely consider a different scoot than if you say I'm riding down to the shops to get milk and bread. Yeah. If you've got a highway cycle in your trip, you're going to buy a different scooter than if you're doing a short trip as well. So it's a very important question for yourself to answer, maybe even before you come into the store. So the other thing to consider when you are a new rider is there's 2 ways of buying your scoot. You can either buy your entry-level scoot, you can dip your toe in the water, and you can buy yourself probably a relatively inexpensive scooter. You're a learner rider, you probably won't be legal to ride with a pillion on the back in most states. But the trick is to consider, okay, am I going to buy myself a scooter I'm going to grow into? Now, by that I mean, if you buy yourself a little 50cc or a 125, they can be an ideal entry-level scoot. However, if you think in the future, 12 months' time, that you'd like to pillion your friend to work or something similar to that, or you may be working further away, that's when you may consider buying a slightly bigger capacity machine straight away. So that's a pretty important question, because it affects your budget and your scope. And by scope, I mean how far you can actually physically travel. The little 50cc's are terrific, they're nice and inexpensive, but it doesn't allow you to travel great distances. So that's something to consider. What kind of person are you? Are you going to buy yourself a dip your toe in the water sort of scooter, or are you going to buy the scooter you're going to maintain for the next 3, 4, 5 years?
Yeah, and talking about maintaining a scooter, do you perceive that servicing is important? Like, why is servicing important?
Yeah, look, servicing is very important. It's like with any product, if you maintain it, it'll look after you. And we do find there's 2 reasons to keep your servicing up to speed. One is peace of mind for yourself, and secondly, typically if you're buying a new scooter in particular, the warranty period. Now your warranty is obviously going to remain active while you maintain your servicing schedule. And the servicing schedule is there for a really important reason. It basically ticks all the boxes that need to be ticked to keep you on a safe, reliable machine. That's fundamentally what we're trying to do. I know here with our mechanics, we've got 4 mechanics here at Scooter Central, and we basically, the first question we answer is the bike safe? If the bike's safe, fantastic. Everything else is peripheral. So when they're doing servicing, they're always looking, is it safe, is it safe, is it safe, and answering that question. So the mechanics are on your side. They're basically going to make sure that you're going out on the road on a safe machine. They know a lot more about it than you do, so you basically entrust it to them.
Yeah. So you've seen where scooters have sort of progressed over the years. So you've got a good experience level there. But what's your feeling on the future with scooters?
Yeah, it's an exciting time for scoots. I mean, we're very lucky here in Australia. What's basically happened with the worldwide scoot market is the rest of the world actually caught on the scooters very early because of fuel prices in Europe and the cost of transport in Asia in particular. Here in Sydney in particular, and all the major metro areas, it's basically catching on very, very quickly. And what's happened for us is scoots have basically gone from being a bit of fun to becoming a much more reliable transport option. Now, I know I can speak for Sydney because we're fundamentally in Sydney. The main things that have changed for us is the city's put in bus lanes. The red bus lanes for us has been a huge deal. And the red bus lanes allows you to ride your scooter. Scooters, taxis, buses and motorcycles can go in the bus lanes. So the speed of transport is basically, look, a lot of customers tell us they can get to work in half the time as what they could have done in the car. And so that's been a really big part of the Sydney scooter market, and the Sydney scooter market is burgeoning, it's growing at a great rate. The other thing we're finding too is we've got so many people going 2nd generation scooters. The real scooter boom here is 5 years old, and obviously we're selling way more scooters today than we ever were 5 years ago. But we're going into 2nd generation buyers now too, which is really interesting because you do get those people I was speaking about earlier that dip your toe in the water, buy yourself a little 50 or a 125. They're going out, they're having a great experience on the scoot, but they're really finding now, oh look, I want to travel further, I want to travel a little bit faster, I want a pillion, and they're coming along and buying their 2nd generation scooter. And what we're really noticing here at Scooter Central is there's so many more people buying the middleweight capacities. So 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, we were definitely selling mainly 50cc's or 125cc. Now we're selling so many more 200s, 250s, and the 300 class is another really big market for us now.